بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. I ask Allah Ta'ala to grant us a sincere intention and the proper comprehension. So let us have a sincere intention in our heart, seeking reward from Allah Ta'ala by attending the lesson. We reached the chapter that talks about the obligation of every accountable person. So, what is this person obligated to do? The obligation on the accountable person. Before we start mentioning that, let us review together quickly who the accountable person is, which we refer to in Arabic as mukallaf. So, the accountable person is the one who is pubescent, sane, and has heard the call of Islam. He is pubescent, بالغ, sane, عاقل, and he heard the call of Islam. The scholars say, for instance, he heard no one is God except Allah and Muhammad is the messenger of Allah in a language that this person understands. Because if he heard it in a language that he does not understand, it means he did not receive the message. So if he received it in a language that he understands, then we say this person received the call of Islam. And it is not a condition for this person to have heard all the details pertaining to the knowledge of the religion. No, by hearing the call of Islam, like hearing no one is God except Allah and Muhammad is the messenger of Allah, it is said that this person heard the call of Islam. So if this person is then pubescent, sane, and heard the call of Islam, this person is accountable. This person is accountable. So if this person then is not a Muslim, he is obligated to immediately embrace the religion of Islam. Immediately say the two testifications of faith to become a Muslim. For if this person does not do that, he is accountable. It means he heard the call of Islam. And despite that, he did not become a Muslim and dies as a kafir, he will be in hellfire forever. Now here I'm saying he, but that applies to the female as well. And you know that puberty, some people, they become pubescent at the age of 11, some at the age of 12. So if they are pubescent and sane and heard the call of Islam, for instance, at the age of 14, they're accountable and not Muslim, they have to immediately become a Muslim. If this person is not accountable, either because they're not pubescent yet, they have not heard the call of Islam, or they are insane, okay, or one of more than one is not there yet. So it means this person is not accountable. Let's say this person is not pubescent and is not sane, but heard the call of Islam. In this case, in this example, this person is not accountable. Or the person is pubescent, sane, but never heard the call of Islam. So this person might be 50 years of age or older, okay? But they never heard the call of Islam. They live, for instance, in an area where they have never heard the call of Islam. In this case, if this person dies, and he is a kafir, if he dies, he will not be in hellfire. Why not? Because he was not accountable. He was not accountable. The scholars say that he did not receive the call of Islam. Okay, so if this person then did not receive the call of Islam and died, he would not be in hellfire. Another example, if a person is sane, heard the call of Islam, but died at a young age. Let's say this child was born to a non-Muslim family, but died before becoming pubescent. Okay, let's say this child died at the age of 8, for example, at the age of 7, 6. This child will not go to hellfire. Again, the same reason this child died and this child was not accountable. So this child then does not go to hellfire because when he died or she died, they were not accountable. So we said then, if this person is accountable and not a Muslim, they are obligated to embrace the religion of Islam. It's not that we give them the choice, like some parents nowadays unfortunately do with their children. They say, we're not forcing them. They say, we are giving our child the freedom. They say, my child chooses whether they want this religion or that religion. They think that by that they're doing the child a favor. Yet in reality, they are not. And they are not allowed to do that. For as parents, they are to guide their child to the proper way. So it is an obligation on this child who is accountable and not a Muslim to become a Muslim. You know, as parents, when you see your child put his or her hand on the stove, you don't tell them, I'll give you the choice, remove your hand or keep it there. Do parents usually do that? No, they don't want their child to be harmed. They don't want their child to be hurt. So if this child chooses a religion other than Islam, is that beneficial for this child? Certainly not. If this child becomes accountable and they choose to have another religion other than Islam, and they die as such, they will be in hellfire forever. So, subhanAllah, the parents need to really reconsider their way of thinking. When they think that we are giving the child their freedom, they think we don't want to force the child. No, when it's something good for the child, you need to do that. And when the religion says that this person is obligated to be a Muslim, then this is what is good for the person. And this is what needs to be done. So, the author, may Allah have mercy on him, said, be it known that uttering the two testifications of faith after puberty with the intention of performing an obligatory deed is incumbent on every accountable person once in a lifetime according to the Malikiyah, according to the Maliki madhab. Now here we're talking about the person who is already a Muslim. Okay, here in this case, we're talking about a person who is already a Muslim. According to the Maliki madhab, they say that this person is obligated once in their lifetime to say the two shahada, not with the intention of becoming a Muslim. No, this person is already a Muslim, but to fulfill this obligation, because they say that it is an obligation. This is because they do not, they meaning the Malikiyah, they do not consider at-tahiyyat obligatory in the prayer. They consider it to be recommended sunnah. And you know, when we are reciting at-tahiyyat in the prayer, we say then the two testification of faith. So according to Imam Malik, it is not an integral of the prayer. So according to them, if the person prays without saying the tahiyyat, his prayer would be valid. If he fulfills the other integrals that they say are integrals of the prayer, then according to them, the prayer is valid. Therefore, they said it is an obligation once in the lifetime of this person to say the two testifications of faith, okay, with the intention to fulfill this obligation. Again, not with the intention to become a Muslim. No, because we are talking about the person who is already a Muslim. According to the Shafi'iyah, the followers of Imam al-Shafi'i, and the Hanabila, it is an obligation, it meaning saying at-tahiyyat. It is an obligation in each prayer for the validity of the prayer. So according to them, the person has to say at-tahiyyat in the prayer for the prayer to be valid. So the person is already saying the two testifications of faith in the prayer because it is an integral of the prayer. Now, you know that we're mentioning now, according to Imam Malik or according to Imam al-Shafi'i or the other prominent scholars, this is in accordance to their ijtihad. They are scholars of Islam, okay? They are righteous scholars, and they attained a high rank, which means they became mujtahid, and they differed in some matters of jurisprudence, in some matters of fiqh. Their ijtihad differed, okay? This difference does not make one of them leave out Islam. Of course not. No, this is something pertaining to matters where it was not explicitly, a matter that was not explicitly mentioned in the Quran. So they try to deduce what they understood from the Prophet ﷺ, for example. So in brief, these scholars, when they differ in matters that relate to jurisprudence, fiqh, one can take in accordance to either of them. So whether you take in accordance to Imam Malik, that is fine. Whether you want to follow Imam al-Shafi'i, again, I'm talking here about matters related to fiqh, that is fine. In matters related to the basics of the belief, they don't differ. Okay, they believe the same thing. So in matters pertaining to the basics of the creed, the basics of the belief, they all agree, of course. But we are talking about matters related, for instance, to fiqh, where they had difference in opinion. And these are matters where the case was not explicitly mentioned in the Quran. No religion is correct except Islam. The acceptable religion to Allah is Islam. So the only true religion is Islam. That is it. No other religion other than Islam. Allah Ta'ala said in the Quran, وَمَن يَبْتَغِ غَيْرَ الْإِسْلَامِ دِينًا فَلَن يُقْبَلَ مِنْهُ وَهُوَ فِي الْآخِرَةِ مِنَ الْخَاسِرِينَ. So this verse is very clear. It gives the meaning that whoever adopts a religion other than Islam, it will not be accepted from him, and he will be among the losers on the day of judgment. So this verse is very, very clear in deeming a person who takes on a religion other than Islam as a disbeliever, and as such, a loser on the day of judgment. Hence, we need to be careful. We say and we believe that all prophets came with the same religion, which is Islam. SubhanAllah, some people who claim to be sheikhs, just the other day I heard one say that, and this is not true. Some of them claim that there are heavenly religions. They say that the heavenly religions revealed, and they mean by that Islam and Christianity and Judaism. No, the religion that was revealed to the prophets is Islam. This is what all prophets came with, Islam. They had no disagreement in that, the prophets. So we are not to say heavenly religions. No, for the only religion accepted by Allah is Islam. The other religions, be it Hinduism, be it Christianity, etc., these are not accepted by Allah. And again here, just because a person was invited to give a speech in front of many people, some of whom might not be Muslims, it does not mean that now we change the rules of the religion. No. The only religion accepted by Allah is Islam. The religion that all prophets came with is Islam. When I say all prophets, that includes Prophet Isa, Jesus alayhi salam. He was Muslim. That includes Prophet Musa, Moses alayhi salam. He was Muslim. They all believed no one is God except Allah. They all believed that God does not resemble any of his creation. So then this verse is clear that whoever takes on a religion other than Islam, he will be a loser on the day of judgment. Allah Ta'ala said in the Quran, إِنَّ الدِّينَ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ الْإِسْلَامِ. This verse, it's very important. Make your children memorize it. Muhammad, memorize this verse. This is very important. From an early age, the child needs to learn the only religion accepted by Allah is Islam. So this is then the meaning of this verse. It means the acceptable religion to Allah is Islam. The only religion Allah accepts is Islam. Hence, all the prophets were Muslims. Whoever was a follower of Musa, meaning Prophet Moses alayhi salam, was called a Muslim Musawi, okay, meaning a follower of Prophet Musa. When I say a follower of Prophet Musa, it means a Muslim. And whoever followed was a Muslim at the time of Prophet Isa, Jesus alayhi salam, was Muslim Isawi. Isawi meaning he followed Prophet Isa alayhi salam. And it is valid to say to the people nowadays who are Muslims to say Muslim Muhammadi, meaning we follow Prophet Muhammad alayhi salam, meaning we follow the laws revealed to this prophet. As for matters pertaining to the basics of the creed, we're not talking about that. All prophets said no one is God except Allah. All prophets taught that God is not like his creation, that God does not have partners to him in godhood, that the attributes of Allah are not like the attributes of the creation. The prophets did not differ in such matters. However, there is a difference between a prophet and a messenger, and inshallah we'll talk about that later on in its own chapter. There were different rules revealed to messengers. And in this case, for instance, there were rules that were different that were revealed to Prophet Isa than the rules revealed to Prophet Muhammad alayhi salam. For example, among the rules revealed to Prophet Muhammad alayhi salam is the obligation of 5 prayers during the day and night. This was not the case during the time of Prophet Isa, for example. So, since we are among the nation of Prophet Muhammad alayhi salam, we are to follow the rules revealed to this prophet, meaning now to Prophet Muhammad alayhi salam. Okay, and that is why we say the Muslim who is among the nation of Prophet Muhammad, it is valid to say Muslim Muhammadi, meaning he is following the laws revealed to Prophet Muhammad alayhi salam, the prophet that he is among his nation. Islam is the religion that Allah accepts for his slaves and ordered us to follow. Now, very important, the person who follows Islam is called Muslim. Allah is not called a Muslim. So we say the person who follows Islam is a Muslim. In ancient times, long ago, mankind altogether adhered to one religion, which was Islam. So at the time of Prophet Adam alayhi salam, his offspring were all Muslim. Shirk, meaning associating partners with Allah, and kufr took place only after Prophet Idris alayhi salam. So during the time of Prophet Adam alayhi salam, and of course you know Prophet Adam alayhi salam is the first of all the prophets. He is the first messenger, and he is the first of all humans. He is the first human that Allah Ta'ala created. He had a beautiful shape, beautiful voice, beautiful face. He was the first of all the humans, and he was the first messenger. At his time, meaning his offspring, they were all Muslims. After him, his son, Sheeth, was a prophet. Then after Sheeth came Idris. So Idris was then the 3rd prophet. At that time also, the people were all on the same belief. They were all Muslims. It is after that that some people turned out of Islam and became disbelievers, became kuffar. Okay? And it is important here, since we mentioned that Prophet Adam alayhi salam was the first human, and it's important to mention here that what is referred to as Darwin's theory, and I think it's still taught in some schools nowadays, it is rubbish. It is not true. It contradicts the rules of the religion. Okay? When they claim that they claim that the human developed from an ape, and they teach children, those who are teaching this theory, they teach children they give them different names for the stages that they think that this person developed from. First they give them the drawing of this shape of an ape, and then a different shape of an ape, starting with one who's like that, and then they claim that then he became slowly more upright and more upright and more upright. This is a theory. It is not true. And it's important at a young age to teach our children the basics of the belief. For if we don't do that, you know that what some schools are teaching, many schools teach what contradicts the Quran. So it's very important that we guard, we protect our children. So when they are, for instance, in such schools, they know to protect their belief and not to believe what opposes Islam. It's very important that this child then distinguishes what is right from what is wrong. So when their teacher tells them something, they know, this is opposite to what my parents taught me is the belief in Islam. So he or she rejects that. So Prophet Nuh alayhi salam was the first prophet sent to the disbelievers, calling to the worship of Allah alone, the one who has no partners. So Prophet Nuh alayhi salam was sent to people and there were disbelievers. Okay, so he was the first prophet sent to disbelievers, sent to kuffar. Because we said after Prophet Idris alayhi salam, kufr started happening. The devil, Satan, started whispering to people to make statues. And later on, he told them to worship these statues. And subhanAllah, some did, and disbelief then started. So Allah Ta'ala sent Prophet Nuh, and Prophet Nuh called them to worship Allah only and not to associate partners with Allah. Allah warned all of the messengers, that is, so that the messengers would warn their nation, so that the messengers would warn their people after Nuh from associating partners with Allah, because the messengers are already on Islam. The messengers already have the correct belief. So when we say Allah warned the messengers, it means this is for the messengers to warn their people. So the messengers warned their people from associating partners with Allah. And our Master Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he renewed the call to Islam after it disappeared from the humans on earth, supported with miracles that prove his prophethood. So after Prophet Nuh alayhi salam came many other prophets, many. And the prophet who came before Prophet Muhammad alayhi salam was Prophet Isa. Prophet Isa, Jesus alayhi salam, also he called people to Islam, and many followed him. Many embraced the religion of Islam and followed the teachings of Prophet Isa alayhi salam. However, after he was risen to the sky, many became disbelievers, and they changed things that he had said, and they fabricated things and altered things. Inshallah, we'll continue tomorrow. Allah Ta'ala knows best. We'll say tahleel together, inshallah, lillah.